Oh, that's something good.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Marianne. Marianne, as she said, she's my daughter. And okay, let me talk a little bit about my story so you will know who I am. And after, we are going to talk about all the subjects that we will be talking about in the in the 5 days. 5 plus 2 bonus days, 7 days. I'm 65 years old. I was diagnosed with breast cancer when I was 55 in 2010 at the end. I went into breast cancer treatment, and in like 6 months, I was cured. And my diagnosis was stage 3 inflammatory breast cancer. God have blessed me for, to be really positive. I don't get depression. And, when I got the news, the first question that in my mind was, okay, what I need to do to solve all these things to survive breast cancer. So I did all the traditional chemo, radiation, but I also did all the alternative. I did the supplements, I changed nutrition, hypnosis, visualizations. I did everything that I was able to do it. I did it. Acupuncture, everything. And it worked. And the thing is, after the treatment, it took me like a year and maybe a month or something like that between, the treatment and surgery and reconstruction. So after that, I was married at the time. And after that, I was left dry as a desert. I remember going to the doctor because I thought I had conjunctivitis in my eyes. And he said, you know what, that's age. Your eyes are dry. And I said, like, man, the eyes get dry also. I was dry everywhere. And that affected my sex life with my husband. So we ended up getting a divorce in 2015. And, I couldn't find solutions for all of that. And I ended up finding the solutions 10 years later, because I used to go to the doctor and ask, and the doctor will tell me, well, those are the symptoms of chemo and the menopause. And you can use a little bit of a cream with estrogen, but I didn't want to use it because I was scared, but I didn't saw any other option. So I said, okay, this is the end of my life as I knew it, that I had a great sex life. It's over. And I said, okay, I'm okay with that. But like 2 years ago, I said, I'm going to start dating and I need to solve all these issues. So I started looking for solutions. And in one of the places I found a lot of solutions is a group that my friend Jan James has, that is sex after breast cancer. And I have found information that it's amazing and it worked for me. So now I wanted to share, and I have Jan invited. She's one of my guests and she's amazing. And she have helped me a lot without her knowing. She have helped me a lot. So I'm going to talk about what we are going to talk, what are the themes for the challenge. I'm going to share okay, you have to bear with me because technology is not my forte. So I'm going to try to do my best. So I'm going to share my screen, right? And let's do that. Okay, we are sharing. Okay, I think we are sharing. Okay, the first day, that is today, we are going to talk about clear thinking. It's super important, after the treatment. At least for me, I was going to say something and I say something completely different because I had like the brain fog for the anesthesia, the chemo, and there's nothing sexier than a clear thinking and full clarity of mind. So today, day one, you will learn how to go away with brain fog. And Jan will be sharing the number one thing that will help you get more clarity in your mind and be completely free of brain fog. So there's a lot of things that you can do right. For in the second day, we are going to talk about sex, wonderful sex life, and get your sexy back. We all know it. Intimacy with your partner is wonderful, but when it's painful, we avoid it like a plague. On day two, you will learn how exactly you will solve these issues. There's a lot of different solutions. Some have worked for me, others I didn't need to try it. And you are going to be surprised of how many solutions are available and nobody talks about it. Information is the key here. Maybe what worked for me is not going to work for you, but there's other solutions that you can check with your doctor and ask what's your diagnosis, what you need to do, and bring up all the solutions so they can say if something that is going to work for you. Then in between day 3 and day 5, look younger than ever and feel younger than ever. And on day 3 to 5, we will dive into ageless and health and body, your skin, about everything that had to do with look younger. And it starts in your brain. Because if your brain is clear and you have the right mindset, it's going to reflect in your looks. So we are going to talk about all that, and we are going to talk about how the change in nutrition is going to help you. Sleeping full night rest, controlling stress, adding activity, supplements, antioxidants, and hydration to your daily life. That will reverse age. And also non-invasive treatments that will help you look younger. Then we are going to have a bonus day on Saturday. That is day 6. We are going to talk about personal finances to see how your money can work for you. You know that after focusing on health, we will define what you want financially. So you can take back control over your finances and capture everything you would like to do, to be, to have, to experience, to create, to contribute, and to learn. I'll teach you how to organize your personal finances and get clarity of where you are so you can change the course of your life after cancer and menopause, because you deserve it. The thing is, for you to go to from point A to point B, you need to know where you are at the moment. It's like a GPS. If you don't have your address now, before you start your trip, you will never get there. So you need to know where you are financially and see where do you want to go, and then you will find the way to do it. Okay, so and day 5, the day 7, that is the second bonus day, we are going to wrap all it up, and you get your sexy back. This is the most important day because it's going to be like a mastermind day. We are going to get together to bring and celebrate the new sexy mindset and your body back. Join me in epic conversation, including questions that you have regarding exactly what you need to move forward as a new after breast cancer and menopause. So that day I think is so important because everybody's going to share what they have learned, what have worked for them in the past, and everybody's going to learn from each other. I think this is really, really important. Okay, let me stop sharing now. And now I would like you to meet Jan James. Jan never expected to become a breast cancer advocate, but after a successful career in marketing and media, followed by a breast cancer diagnosis, Jan put her ability to build a program and connect people to work for the breast cancer community. Since her diagnosis in 2012, Jan has served and connected thousands of women I cannot see a squirrel because I get distracted, so something was making noise, so sorry. She had connected thousands of women through her private breast cancer support groups on Facebook and LinkedIn. In 2015, she also founded a breast cancer nonprofit organization, Provision Project. And her most recent project, Hope After Breast Cancer, is a place where women go, who have experienced breast cancer can be encouraged and empowered to reclaim their life and thrive. So I'm so glad to introduce Jan James to you. So let me put her on camera. Give me a second. So I will do that. Okay, now you are there. Oh, you need to unmute yourself.
Oh, I forgot. I didn't want to speak earlier. Sorry about that. Thanks for that sweet introduction. Appreciate that. That's awesome. Good. So where do we start, Miss Mary?
Okay, let's talk about what are your experience, what you have found, to solve the issue of brain fog that is, so difficult.
Yeah, so I was diagnosed, as Mary said, in 2012. And in 2017, I was 5 years out and I was done with treatment and I finally was off the hormone blocker and all that kind of stuff. And I had the worst brain fog ever 5 years after treatment. And I thought, it was nuts. Like I was waiting for my doctor, for my employer to fire me, honestly, because I couldn't get it together. I wasn't the same person as I was before treatment. And I know so many girls suffer from that. And it's something that, we hear about chemo brain or whatever, but in my experience in working with thousands of girls that have had breast cancer, it's really interesting. I don't think it has anything to do with the chemo. I think it has a lot to do with the stress of having cancer. So even if you only have RADS and you don't have chemo, brain fog is a thing. Even if you have DCIS and you don't have chemo or RADS, you probably have brain fog. So it just doesn't have anything to do with chemo, but I think society has just kind of put that tag on it. So in 2015, Mary knows me a little more than you guys, but I'm not somebody that just doesn't think there's answers for things. So I started to just really dig in and try and figure out what could I do. And the reality of it is, guys, is that I was living a super unhealthy lifestyle from a nutrition standpoint. And so I made a decision. I was the heaviest that I had ever been at that point. And so in addition to being really frustrated with my brain fog, I was really frustrated with my weight. So I thought, well, at least, I was one of those people, maybe like you, that has tried everything. I spent thousands and thousands of dollars with all kinds of different programs, Jenny Craig and Weight Watchers and, MetaFast. And I probably got war ribbons from all of them, but I could never find anything that would really stick. And so let's call me a yo-yo dieter. So I did change my nutrition really significantly back in 2017. And what happened is within a week, I had really terrible systemic pain. And it went away in a week. like it was gone. I had fibromyalgia for 30 years and I had no more of that pain. And I have to tell you that I'm kind of like maybe what you're thinking, like, what? Because it was really, I just changed my nutrition. I don't understand how that is connected with why did my systemic pain go away. And there were other things that happened to the positive. I was losing weight relatively quickly and steadily, a little bit too quickly at the beginning, but that's okay. And then it kind of evened out. But then I was sitting at this desk 5 weeks into changing my nutrition, and I was working on some accounting. And all of a sudden, as I was doing the numbers and inputting the numbers, I went, wait a minute, why is this why am I thinking about this so clearly? Why are the numbers coming together so easily? And I literally just stopped what I was doing and I sat back and went, that cannot possibly be true, because my brain was 1,000% back. It was back better than ever. And it took me 5 weeks to realize it. So you see that the nutrition affected it over the 5 weeks so slowly that I never even noticed that it was coming back until I sat down to do, a fairly complex thing. And then I went, whoa, what in the heck happened? And my brain, I honestly, even at that time, I said my brain feels 30 years younger than I am. And I'm 61 now. I don't know. I can run circles around people these days. So that's kind of cool at my age. So that's neat. So that wasn't the end of the story. So like I was getting restored and I was reclaiming my life after breast cancer, but now I needed to understand why. And that's when I hit the books. That's when I hit the internet. That's when I started to talk to experts, because I wanted to understand what happened. Like I changed my nutrition, but I don't understand how that made my pain go away. I mean, I get how weight, we all have had weight gain, weight loss. We all understand that kind of thing. But wait a minute, systemic pain that I had had for years went away. Why? I don't understand that. My brain came back. Why? So it's really been an interesting journey. I've spent hundreds or maybe even thousands of hours in research. I've read many, many books. I've done tons of research. I've sit and listened to many, many videos by experts that are qualified. And one of the weird things that I have found is that we don't get taught about brain health ever in our lives. We just don't. There's nobody that talks about it, about how to have a healthy brain. There's a healthy heart, there's healthy lungs. We just don't get taught about healthy brains. And so that's really what I'm about. I have learned lessons about what needs to happen to have the healthiest brain ever. We've got a preponderance of Alzheimer's in our society. We have people that have traumatic brain injuries. There are all these things that are happening with our brains, but there are actually doctors and scientists that have really found ways to heal the brain. I was on a breast cancer support group page a couple weeks ago, and somebody wrote in all caps, I could almost hear her. I could feel her pain. How do I get rid of this chemo brain? And the answers were, I don't know, heartbreaking really to me, because people were saying, oh, you can't, you have to live with it. Oh, I had breast cancer in 1999 and I still have chemo brain. And I was just thinking, oh my gosh, you guys, nobody is talking about the solutions about how to heal your brain. So, that's me. Here I am. Next week, Mary's given me permission. Next week, I'm doing another brain fog workshop for our girls, free. Similar to this, but it's going to talk about brain health the whole dang week. And the stuff that you have to do is not hard, and it's all pretty logical. But I think people need to understand why. One of the biggest things that I think is really affecting chemo brain is inflammation. And so if you think about my particular story, the pain, the systemic pain I had in my body, probably because my weight was so high, came from inflammation, because inflammation is, that word, right, comes from the word for fire. It's like a fire in your system, something's wrong. And so it's saying, hey, that pain you're feeling means something's wrong. Yeah, I'm carrying too much weight. It's putting off the fire alarm. When I started to lose the weight, the inflammation went down. So the pain went away. And it's not just weight. I don't want to just lay it out that it's just weight, but weight has a lot to do with it. It's the stuff that you're putting into your system that's affecting your brain. It's the things that go past your blood-brain barrier. It's the things that, there are things that you do every day that are detrimental to your brain health. It's the toxicity that you live with. It's the toxicity that you ingest in foods, in drinks, even your water source. We're a little bit doomed on some level, because there's so much toxicity in our society, but there are ways around that. So I'm going to be teaching next week the things that I've learned. I'm not a medical professional, I'm just Jan, but I'm going to tell you what I learned, and I'm going to bring you information from the experts that I have learned from, so that you can take that information and run with it. Again, it's not big mystery stuff, but it's just, it's actually pretty logical thinking. And so I hope to help many of you, as well as the women that I've reached out to. We've had this workshop before and had about 300 girls in it. And so come join us. We would love to have you do that. So Mary, what questions do you have for me?
Okay, let me add the spotlight. You know that everything that you are talking about nutrition, it have worked for me also, because after the treatment with all the steroids, I gained like 20 pounds.
Right.
And also inflammation is the cause of a lot of cancers, or all of them. And the thing is, when we put in our body a lot of antibiotics, that is not that we are taking because we are sick, it's because we are eating animals that they have been treated with antibiotics, hormones, and that will affect everything.
Right.
I have feedback, because I think it's the you call the stream jar. I'm going to take off the stream jar, and then I will post the Zoom in because that is not working. Let me take it out.
Okay.
Give me a second to do that.
Okay.
Okay, I ended. So, what happens is that we use a lot of food that is not clean, and it's like I started after cancer I started eating organic,
right?
But because all the pesticides, all the toxins that it's in the food, and that will make you sick, and you cannot think clear with that. I read that book. Let me get the book that I would like to show.
So next week, guys, just to fill in while Mary's doing that, I'm going to be talking about my story, about the experts that I've studied under. We're going to do some learn from one of the experts. He's got a really beautiful way of talking about the 11 risk factors that you have for brain health and how to mediate those things. And then I'm going to teach about the gut-brain connection, which is such a huge thing. If you don't know what your microbiome is, you better show up, because you need to understand how your gut affects everything in your body. And so we're going to talk about that. We will have a day where we're talking about nutrition, and then I've got another day. There are lots of things that you can do. It's everything from your self-talk to exercising to memory boosters and those kinds of things that really impact your brain. Do you know that you can, when one of the girls in that breast cancer group I mentioned said, you know, well, it's too bad we can't create new brain cells. Oh, no, we can. We can. I don't know if you know about neuroplasticity, but I'm going to talk about that next week. In essence, that is a concept. The way it was explained to me first before I studied it was, if you have a hair on your head, think about the fact that you have a neural pathway in your head that's as thin as a hair on your head, and you're a child, and your parent is a mean parent. So your parent says to you over and over and over again how stupid you are, how dumb you are. And that neural pathway gets thicker and thicker and thicker and thicker until it's the size of your finger, not the hair. And so that's taking up room inside your brain. In the same way, you can take great thoughts and great self-talk and great affirmations to create positive neural pathways and build new bridges from your neurons to your neurons. So it's really kind of fun to think about the fact that you can change your brain. You just need to know how. So we're going to talk about those kinds of things. Sorry, Mir, I wanted to just...
That's perfect. No, I read this book and I love it. It's The Brain
Daniel
Warrior's Way from Dr.
Daniel Amen. And I have
It's an amazing book.
Daniel Amen is one of my heroes, and I have this book called Memory Rescue, which I will...
All these books are great.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's good. Yeah. Well, see, we didn't even know that about each other, that we were
Yes.
fans of Dr. Amen.
Let me tell you, that book have helped me a lot.
That's awesome.
Because there's a lot of invaluable information, you know?
You bet. You bet. So yeah. No, that's great. So yeah, so Mary will have a link for you guys to join my challenge. It's open right now, but we'll start next Monday. So I'll be giving her a link that she can send out to you, and would love to have you. And I'm just living proof that you can change your brain. You are not stuck with the brain that you have, contrary to popular belief. So just understand that what I want you to be able to do next week is walk away with an action plan of things that I present. You're going to make some choices and a little tiny bit of homework every night about, okay, Jan gave me 15 choices. I'm going to commit to doing these 3. And you're going to make little check boxes, right? And you're going to just make checks about what you're going to do. And then at the end of the week, you're going to have an action plan about what you can focus on to make your brain health improve.
Yeah, that worked for me too. Because I, like, for a year, I don't know, the doctor told me it was the anesthesia, that I was under like 8 hours and a half, because I did everything, you know, mastectomy and reconstruction in one shot. And I did the abdominal ones, the tram flap, so it was long. So like for a year and a half, I can think, and I was trying to say something and I would use a different word. And it was like, what's going on with me? Why I cannot say what I'm thinking of? And it took a while. So I changed my diet. I started again exercising and taking my, you know, I was taking the supplements since I got sick. And it helped me, but I changed, I got some other stuff and it helped.
Good, yeah.
And I lost the weight also because, you know, those pounds, it affects you.
Sure.
In everything.
Absolutely.
And I got a little bit of neuropathy on my right foot, and with the nutrition, it changed, it got better.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah. So I know the frustration with brain fog. And so, and I think this idea that that's just the way it is not true. It's a lie. No, it can be changed, but you have to make the decision to change it.
Sure. No, and you don't have to go to have brain fog. You don't need to have
Right.
cancer. You know, just with menopause and eating that, you will have the brain fog.
No, we're here about solutions, right? So
yes,
yeah, that's awesome.
So let's see if Ada or Irma has any question. Irma, do you have any question? Take the microphone.
Okay, now, I like your technology. It's not my forte. Hi, Jenna. Nice meeting you.
You too, thanks.
Yeah, everything is very, very interested. Omar, you know me. Um, yeah, definitely I need to change, especially my eating habits. I'm the worst. I'm addicted to sweets and junk and everything that I can find my way. And I really need to lose weight and focus, and get a very healthy life.
Yeah. You know,
Marisa is a great example. I mean, she's focused and determined to do it.
yeah. And Irma, you know what? My motto is really, we're not meant to be survivors. We're meant to be thrivers. I'm not interested in being a survivor. Sounds like I was in a car wreck and I
Yeah.
made it through by the skin of my teeth. I'm not interested in that. I'm interested in reclaiming my life and getting everything back. So that's what I'm
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So
That's what it is, actually.
yeah, would love to have you join us next week if you can.
Oh, no, our time is going to be 6 o'clock too? What time you going to have it, Jen?
I'm sorry, I can't understand you.
What time is going to be your meeting? Is
Oh.
it 6 o'clock Eastern time?
No, it'll be at 7 Eastern time.
Oh, great. Perfect. Even
But
better.
you'll always have the recordings as well. Yeah, so we have women in 28 countries. So, I have to pick a time, and I did a survey of our women. And so everybody said, that 7 o'clock Eastern was the best. So, okay, that's what we'll do. But most of the girls really watch by recording. So that's okay. Yeah.
Okay, that sounds great.
Good. Okay, Mary will have that link for you, no problem.
Yes. Ada, do you have any questions?
No, just what Jan was mentioning, in terms of health-wise, I noticed once, I started I don't know if you guys heard of Noom. It's like a weight loss program. It's called Noom.
Oh, Noom. Yeah. Sorry, you were picking up there a little bit. Yeah. How is that working for you?
It's great. Like what Irma said, like, I'm big on sweets. Like I'm Salvadorian, and you can get sweet bread from morning, breakfast, and lunch, and it is like my favorite. Like pastelitos, like I don't care. I love cake. But what I found about Noom is that it's all psychological. Food is psychological. So with this journey, I found that it was super important to not restrict myself on the things I love, but just to change the way I ate the things. So if I knew I was my favorite is chocolate cake, I'd have a slice in the morning, and I wouldn't eat a sweet the next day. And I changed a lot of my diet to organic things, anything covered with a lot of pesticides, like spinach, strawberries, anything really that grows. I've learned to switch all to organic, and I found that helped a lot.
Good.
Dealing with the brain fog, but I'm finding math activities daily and things like that. Because I'm really young. I'm only 36 years old, and I was kind of like, why am I forgetting things? It was so fascinating.
I bet. Yeah.
So I was diagnosed when I was 34 and going into all of this cancer stuff. So I think the reason I'm joining these groups is because I do want to help women, and I want to advocate and show them you can change your life around. And I am with a certain group called Nanny Angel Network. Specific, they help young mothers with cancer.
Oh, great.
So, but I'm finding just my group alone, cancer is a choice. For me, cancer is not a choice, but how we choose it is. So what I'm finding is there is information out there, but there's not enough. And these women are so depressed. I've never been a Debbie Downer, not one to be like, I'm down on my butt. It's like, okay, what can I do to get up and continue? After being diagnosed with cancer and then reading Terry Fox again, I saw a whole new light. I saw cancer in a whole new light. So I'm joining these groups because I really want to help these young women, because I feel it's even more taboo when you're younger because you're so embarrassed to ask questions.
Yes.
So I guess that's the purpose of joining this week. Learn from you guys, marry it from you, Ken. I'm able to bring that to the group. I didn't know everybody would the link, but again, it's just, I feel like when you're younger, it's a little bit different. The hardest things for me was probably the first 8 months before I was even introduced to this group. Every time I kept going to the clinic, I was the youngest person there. And that was hard for me because you need to, like, when you're going through this journey, it's so individual from one person to the next. You need to be able to relate. You need to be able to talk to someone who feels or you feel like is going through something similar. So I'm again joining these groups for this purpose, to help other young women. Again, because I feel like a lot of these questions are very, taboo. They don't want to ask them, or when you do ask them, it's just, you can tell this underline of comfortability. Like last time we were talking about, sex and the dryness. It was the first time I've been on this group for over a year, and it was the first time I actually dove into deep topics, and that's what I want for them, to realize that there are options out there. And I'm appreciative of the two of you being able to open up a group like this, that we can find the answer that we're looking for. So thank you for that.
Yeah, and you guys too, if you want to, we're going to talk about our Sex After Breast Cancer group tomorrow. But we have two groups that you might be interested in, that one and then Hope After Breast Cancer. And there is a page and a group, but you would want to be in the private group on Facebook. So if either of you want to join, or if anybody watching the replay wants to join, just go to those pages, Hope After Breast Cancer, Sex After Breast Cancer. Hope After Breast Cancer is really focusing our women on the thriving. We have a theme every month that we go through, to just help us heal in different areas, whether it's been self-talk, or last month was an attitude of gratitude month. And we've done fear of recurrence, and we got all kinds of different topics, but every month has a theme, so we can all focus together on getting further down the road and getting better in certain areas. So, and then in the Sex After Breast Cancer group, we are blessed to have a bunch of experts that have weighed in there. We've got lots of videos and that kind of thing. So come join us if you'd like.
Sorry.
I'm sorry, what? I didn't hear.
I think Ada was going to start talking, but
No, I wasn't. I'm listening.
oh, okay. You know what have worked, and I have a sweet tooth also, or had. You know what worked for me? Dr. Amen say in his book that sugar is like, it creates addiction like cocaine. So when you stop having sweets for 15 days to a month, you stop craving it. And that have worked for me. And I eat those once in a while, like once a week or every 15 days. I had a sweet, but that's it. One time, and then I stopped because I don't want to start getting inflamed or have an inflammation and all that. So it's good to, it's not that you can have a little bit every day, but once a week is not that bad if you cannot help it. And that wouldn't create the addiction again. So that, I thought it was really interesting.
I used to drink a lot of diet soda, and that is really terrible for sugar addiction. It really makes you crave it. And so you have to be really careful. It's funny, my husband's birthday was last week, and we went out to dinner, and he ordered a Coke, and I said, oh, can I have a sip of it? He said, oh, sure. And I hadn't had a Coke in, I don't know, 2 years, maybe, something like that. And I was like, oh, it was so sweet. But I was going to tell you, I just went in my drawer. You guys, I have protein bars, because if you can do high value protein, lower carb protein bars that are still sweet, that is such a healthy alternative. And I do that because high protein helps with higher energy and helps you with your muscle mass. and gets fat away. So, you know, think about that kind of thing. They've got them in the grocery stores or whatever. Just make sure you're paying attention to the ingredients. I'm going to talk about some of that stuff next week too. But, you know, that's a way to, I actually call them my candy bars because, you know,
they are like candy.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah. I don't need a Snickers anymore. I love those. So, you know, you can kind of shift your focus on healthy alternatives to sweets and watch your language. I'm going to tell you girls that spoke up too, you know, I'm addicted to, well, don't keep saying that. Say something like, you know, well, I enjoy sweets, but I'm working on enjoying healthy sweets, because you don't want to keep in your brain, you don't want to keep reinforcing the fact that you're addicted. You know, I talk to girls all the time. Your self-talk is, you're your own worst enemy. You got to really watch what you're saying out loud, because it becomes your reality. So be careful with that. So yeah, and I bust myself all the time, and I don't catch myself all the time either.
No, but the thing is, if you are aware, you are going to, because I do that, I'm aware. So when I say something, I go like, oh no.
Right.
So,
No.
because
Yeah.
you correct yourself, but if you are not aware, you are like under hypnosis, so you don't notice, and then it will get into your subconscious mind.
The easiest way to explain that is like, because we have a group that's for newly diagnosed girls too, and somebody will come in and we'll be asking about their story about how the cancer was found, and then they'll say, well, my cancer, and oh no, never say my cancer. Never own it.
Not
Do
yours.
not say my cancer. It's the cancer. And they go, what? But it's like, seriously, we don't want to own it. It's evil. We want to get it out of our lives. We're not interested in it. Don't ever say my. It's the out the door, Jack.
That's true.
Right.
I have never said mine because it's not mine.
No, I don't want it. Right.
I don't want it.
What if somebody walks up to you and says, so how's your cancer going? It ain't mine.
No, I don't want it.
You can have it if you want it, but I don't want it.
You know, also what is good if people have a sweet tooth, fruits.
Absolutely. Yeah, you want to be
amazing.
careful
And they're
about,
so sweet.
yeah. For your brain, I think you need to be a little careful about the spiking your blood sugar too much. So depending on what it is, but
No, and not overdo it.
Right. Yeah. You just want to be wise about that. But yeah, absolutely. Having something natural as opposed to processed also is a good idea. So yeah.
I also use the protein shakes that doesn't have sugar, but they have all the, you know, I add fruit.
No, they
I add
use
fruit to it, and I use coconut water, and it's perfect.
Sure. No, I do shakes as well. Yeah, and that's a really good filling kind of thing for a meal for me. So yeah, it's a good alternative as well. So that's good. Yeah.
Really good.
Awesome. Well, that's good. Well, tomorrow we're going to talk about sex. Yeah.
Oh. And there's so much solutions about sex that nobody can think about them. At least I didn't thought about them like for 7-8 years. It was like, okay, it's, you know, non-existent in my life.
I've been really blessed to have a lot of medical people in my life that have helped me understand what the solutions are. So we'll take through some of that. Yeah, because people don't even know that there are solutions. They just think they need to suffer. And it's just not
They
true.
need to give up.
Right.
So,
I know.
Can I ask a question on that, Mary and Jan?
Yes.
So in the group, one of the girls mentioned that she doesn't think there's a way back. She's too far gone. There's a word for it. It starts with A. Something no longer, it dries up, it's not in use.
Vaginal atrophy is what she's talking about.
Yes. And I disagree with that. I don't think I don't agree with that statement. So, I mean, in your experience as women who have actually gone through menopause, and what Mary is stating, like, how long, like, did you guys go through that before you found solutions where you were able to have relations with your husband again?
Well, it just depends. we'll get into the details tomorrow if you don't mind. But
Yep.
there's lots of different causes that may be impacting pain or libido, or we're going to talk through all of that tomorrow. So it really is not a one size fits all thing. And so we want to just talk through the solutions so that the women that are watching this video are able to go to their practitioner and be a little bit more educated about what solutions they might ask for. So yeah, if you don't mind, we'll go through that tomorrow.
Sure.
Yeah, so
And I-
yeah, it's a journey though, I gotta tell you, because it wasn't easy to find all of the people that had all the answers, you know? So yeah, but I think a lot of women that go through menopause, like you're young, so much younger than us, but women that go through menopause also kind of throw in the towel, but there are so many solutions. And I think it's really sad. We need to be talking about those more often because marriages are getting hurt, and
Yes.
it just breaks my heart. So we're here to yell from the rooftops about sex after breast cancer. So that's good.
Well, there's a lot of information tomorrow.
Yeah, that's good. And I'm gonna have, there's a handout that Mary's gonna give you too, that's gonna give you, give you a, you're gonna be armed with some information to be able to go to your doctor with it. So that's cool.
Yes,
Okay.
and tomorrow we are going to share all those videos that, that a lot of doctors and therapists are talking about the subject and giving
Right.
solutions.
Right. Lots and lots of videos on our website at hopeafterbreastcancer.com and on the Sex After Breast Cancer group on Facebook.
They are. Mhm.
Yeah, we're cranking out videos all the time trying to figure it out.
No, and you have done a great job on that.
Oh, it's been a blessing. It really has been a blessing. I feel very proud of the job that we've done in bringing that education to our community. It's not right that they told us there were no answers. That was a lie.
Yes, it is. For sure.
Yeah.
Well, if no one has any other question, oh, homework. We need to talk about homework. Let me share my screen. So we are going to wrap up with the homework. Okay, the homework that we have for today is to go live in the Facebook group and introduce yourself and what was your takeaway from today's session. So it's easy, it's not that complicated today. Well, every day is going to be very easy, the homework. So we are back.
Okay, so great to be with you guys today.
No, it
Looking
was
forward to
great.
tomorrow. Yeah.
See you tomorrow. Have a great
Yeah, we'll see you
night.
tomorrow.
Bye.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye. Have a great night.
Bye.